Chris Rock's coming in. He's promoting New Year's Eve at the Garden.
Yes.
It's a nice gig, huh?
Certainly is.
Wow, good for Chris Rock. We got Patrice O'Neal in studio. Of course, Jim Norton. And now Chris Rock joins the program. What?
Am I on?
Yeah, now you're on. Sorry.
On.
See, we can't even figure out which mic works the last day before vacation.
You realize it's just the same as like school. Remember in school before vacation or before you left for summer, nothing got done?
I know nothing about school.
It's exactly nothing.
School's for white people.
Well, I sure missed it.
Books and learning.
Maybe it was the Sicilian in me. I missed it, a lot of it. I just went for the first half to learn a little bit of math.
And some
English.
shop skills, and then move on.
Better things to do.
Yeah.
This is Chris's first time here, and
This is my first time, yeah.
And him and Patrice were talking about something, and apparently he complimented Patrice, and I gotta say I didn't like it at all.
It was, let me say this. It was a weird thing. I'm sitting there, the first part of the story. I thought somebody's just starting trouble, and I thought it's Chris.
Well, retell the story. I'll make believe I didn't hear this.
Well,
because it was really good.
I had to thank him because one comic said that Chris Rock said that you auditioned for Everybody Hates Chris as the Father, talking about me, and said I was awful. I go, no, I was good in that audition. So Keith called me. Keith was there. So Keith goes, man, no. He didn't say that at all. He said you were great. And then he told me the real story. So
you were great. You just didn't know any of your lines. But I didn't. You're very unprepared and very self-deprecating. But you were great. You were actually the best one that day.
I could have got the Father, but I thought I knew my line. Put it this way: I always say in auditions, I gave myself a chance to get it, but I'm very aloof. In auditions, because I don't want to get too, I want it, or too, I don't want it. I went in.
So why try?
Him and Ollie.
Why try?
I was just saying, this is how I'm going to be as a father. But the word was, okay, he was the best, but he didn't get it because of some other stuff. But I was actually felt good about that.
Yeah.
That I was the best, but
So you finally got an opportunity to ask Chris if that was true.
Oh, you were great.
But here's the thing I heard, is that I had an attitude, and I didn't. I know when I have an attitude. I'm not going to say I'm not an ass.
You didn't have an attitude. You came in. I feel like
this is good.
an ass.
This is good stuff.
I feel like Mr. Slate. Like I'm Trump. The reason you were let go.
But I don't like to give.
Wait, let's hear his side.
Wait a minute, though. I don't like to give. Just to let me finish.
Let the man finish.
I don't like to give black bosses any less type of respect than white bosses. I don't want to look at Chris and go, Chris. And when I go into white things and I'm acting right. I went in there to try to be business, act right.
How many black bosses have you really been in front of Thriller? You say it like there's so many black bosses out there.
You act like you're popular among white people. When have you ever been nice or diplomatic?
I want it to be the same, exactly the same.
Yeah. Well.
And
why don't you kiss up to Chris Rock? He's in the studio. You're self-destructive.
I'm not self-destructive.
Look who's telling you that.
Right. I know a thing about being self-destructive. I think you're being a little self-destructive. You're being a little too cool for the room in front of Chris Rock.
Too cool? What are you talking about now?
Yeah.
But don't think me and Chris don't both know white tricks. This is not dividing conquer. What is it? I basically said thank you for the compliment because I heard the compliment.
Right. So
I said,
his acting,
thank you.
Chris, his acting was good.
His acting was very good. His acting was very good. He just didn't know. He didn't know the part, and he was very. He was just killing himself. He was basically screaming, "Don't hire me!"
Oh, Patrice! You know something?
That's the Patrice we know.
Sounds just like Patrice.
This is the man we know.
I swear to God,
absolutely sounds just like him.
I know when I'm being like that, but I wasn't.
The guy that he went against was like, "I'm ready to do this. I know every line." And he probably wasn't as good as Patrice, but he was so I will do everything you need to do, Mr. Rock.
Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's not like it's a hit show, right?
Yeah, it's not like you see the bus boards and the billboards.
I saw your True Hollywood Story You were the same way.
I was, and I straightened out.
Oh, all right. All right, that's his advice. All right, I'm gonna try.
You should learn from Chris.
I'm learning from Chris. I'm gonna learn now.
Terry Crews was great, but
Yeah.
you were really good.
How many seasons are you in on that show?
I think, we just finished 3. Yeah, so we're getting ready to start 4.
4 seasons.
What do you do?
Is that why you asked him that question?
Actually, no, I never heard that story until you said that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't rub it. I'm happy that I heard that.
Syndication money starts rolling.
I was wondering, when you go into a show with that stars like a kid, do you think, if we get a year out of this, we're lucky? And now you must start thinking, this kid's getting older.
He's really old, and his voice has changed, and he's shaving. And
yeah, it's like what?
got hemorrhoids.
You get the Harry Potter problem.
Yeah, we got the. Well, I wish I.
Well,
that's some problem.
That's a good problem to have.
It happened with like the Wonder Years and stuff, where I think they go into it thinking, we're lucky if it's even on the air, and then it gets to the point where it's like, Dad, I'm home, and it's not quite the Wonder Years anymore. You know,
Right.
It's not this innocent child thing. Now he's, driving and having sex.
Sleeping with his aunt.
Yeah. Exactly.
And his show, that Everybody Loves Chris, was one of the few ones that made the leap when they combined to make the CW and UPN closed down. And
that's right.
And like a couple others were the only ones that moved over to the new network.
Right.
Yes, because all the shows were so great. They had to figure out what's going to make it.
That was just, you could hear the collective click of white people hitting the remotes on some of those shows. It's like, what? There's 4 girls and they're living together and they're working. I have no idea what that's about. Click.
Yeah.
I had no real interest in seeing that. What?
Why don't you just start it with, I'm a racist?
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm a racist.
I like my shows with a black friend. That's what you're really saying. An occasional black friend is great on the show.
He has
Black
one
cast?
He has
What's
one
that?
important scene every season. That's where I feel
Anthony goes,
it's my safe zone.
Sticks from Happy Days. Give us Sticks. Look, what happened to those days?
Anthony goes, I'm not watching UPN word.
I don't call it that. Jesus Christ. I just need something I can relate to a little. Us as humans, we just watching things we can relate to a little more.
Steve Nash. You want to see you getting laid
Just so Chris understands,
It's
Anthony.
like Nash, right?
Anthony is.
Yes.
You root for Nash?
Right.
Of course you root for Nash.
Anthony's a big fan.
All white guys root for Nash.
Anthony's a big fan of the History Channel, but he likes to call it the Hitler Channel, just so you know
It's
who
the
you're
big
dealing
H
with
in
here,
the corner
Chris.
and stuff, of course.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the era.
Right. Keep
Of
going.
like
It's amazing Hitler can have a channel and OJ can't get a show. OJ only killed 2 people. Nothing.
They're fascinated with
Hitler
Hitler.
gets a whole channel, network.
Every bit of film of that guy has been shown. Everything.
He's a drug addict now.
There's
I
no
just saw
Hitler
one.
outtakes.
Saw one the other day. Hitler went sandal shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, some rare
Hour,
footage.
a whole hour of Hitler.
They
picking
find
out
2
sandals.
lousy seconds of Hitler footage, and they make an hour out of it
Yeah.
on the Hitler Channel.
OJ,
See, now I'm
nothing.
saying it. Nothing for OJ.
Nothing for OJ.
Hey, Chris is playing the Garden. We got to get the plug in, man. He's playing
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden New Year's Eve. How cool is that, Chris?
Madison Square Garden, New Year's Eve. Yes.
And Ticketmaster for tickets, and it's amazing to be doing that room. It's funny. I think we're off the air. We said this, but I'm like, is this? Are you doing there's 2 rooms? One
The
with
Little
5,000.
Garden. I'm doing the Dane Cook
The
Garden.
Dane Cook
The
Garden.
Dane Cook Garden. Oh, my
Renamed.
God. That is the elephant in the room, too, because you're sitting there going, how do you ask somebody, are they playing the real garden or the other thing? But the other thing is 5,000
It's still
seats.
impressive. Yes.
Yeah, that's the mini garden.
Yeah, but whenever anybody says it, you
Then
go
I'm
like,
coming
oh.
back to the other garden the Little Garden in April, May.
Okay, so you're doing
4 nights.
an arena, 4 nights in the Jesus.
How come not do one big garden? Because that adds up to 4 of the little gardens.
There's like insurance issues. Let me explain arenas.
Yeah, you gotta look, Chris. You gotta explain that world.
I know when you're settling up at the Chuckle Hut at the end of the night.
I'm sitting.
You sit there with the guy.
I don't know. I really asked it like I don't
From
know.
the Rainy Night House, and you're going over.
You ask it the
Tony
garden.
Camacho has the check.
You asked him not to drop checks.
John Mulrooney is working with you.
You asked him not to drop checks.
Big up to Mulrooney.
Do they have wings at the Garden?
We might have rings. I've been trying to get Kentucky Fried Chicken to give out 2 pieces at the end of the night. But
I wonder if you probably make more doing 4 nights at the other one.
you can make more money. Yeah, because the union is
very expensive. New York rooms are very expensive. I mean, I understand some of the big rooms.
This is all business stuff.
Not that, of course.
It's all business. Yes.
Something you don't know nothing about.
I'll be at comics next week. I'm trying to sell 4 shows.
Patrice decided it was a good idea to get a website a mere 3 months ago. Remember all the times you would come on the show and you have a website
that's
to
how
promote
he did
yourself?
Get the show. Exactly. That's how he did.
He doesn't know how to promote. He goes, I feel weird promoting.
Do you see him trying now?
You are trying.
Jesus.
Patrice's brilliance is as a comedian.
You're playing some big rooms now, right?
I'll get back to you. Yes, I'm Chris. It's funny. As a businessman, it's time to plug myself. I'm doing maybe 1,000 is probably the maximum. 1,500.
Hey, you're out to clubs.
Yeah,
you made it.
Well, I mean,
that's the goal of every comic is to get out of the chuckle huts.
My only goal, I swear to you, was to be famous enough to not have to do radio. That was it. Not that I want to be up now, but I mean, you know, I don't have to do radio, and I don't have to stay in the condo, in the comedian condo. That's all I wanted.
And you mean you're on the road?
I wanted to be like Don Maera, George Wallace was like my goal.
He's been on the show a bunch.
Yeah,
funny guy.
That was my goal.
Yeah,
shot past that.
We should talk about the condo thing. A lot of people out there don't understand when you guys go to these cities, you have to stay in the same condo that other comics were in the week before.
The same sheets.
Right, because they're trying to just save. They're trying to save money, so these guys buy an actual condo.
Comedians are disgusting.
Right. I can't even imagine.
You got to share. Sometimes with. I've done so many gigs with a headliner in the middle act.
Sometimes you have to share. If you're not a headliner, you share the room with the
some strange comic you barely know,
like damn near bunk beds.
Right.
It's like
Yeah, I've done that. I woke up one time. It was 3 comedians in a room, and I woke up and the 2 guys had left. We had like a 2-hour drive to the next gig. They just left a note like, "We'll meet you there." Dirtbags.
Hint.
You ever had that thing where you're at the club and they have the meal, the menu, and then there's the stuff the headliner can eat, but if you're an opener,
way,
you can't get shrimp.
The chintzy ass crap is that?
We don't. The middles can't get scallops. We're sorry.
You can have the chicken wings. Chicken wings for you.
I was doing a club recently up in Massachusetts, and they said that the MCs, the opening acts, couldn't get soda. I'm like, you don't give the guys. I can see alcohol.
You know what I don't like?
I saw one said, "Don't touch the waitresses."
Was that a problem?
You know what's bothering me about this conversation? That Norton and Chris Rock are having a nostalgic conversation that I still live.
If you had the right attitude, you're as funny as both of us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm funnier than you.
I guess it's trying to tell you this is an intervention for you, Chris Rock.
Look,
we thought we were having Chris Rock to promote his New Year's gig, but it's really an intervention to get you on the right track.
How do people be able to move on from old school news? I'm not like that.
I'll tell you what it is. You're as a comedian, and
you're like Whitney Houston. You're gonna have to be clean for 10 years before we buy it. Like, we supposed to just buy it now?
But she's looking good again.
I gotta prove it to the public.
I need 4 crackless albums before I buy clothes.
I'm gonna have to be like Michael Vick after he gets out. Like, I'm going to take care of dogs.
You're gonna work at a shelter. You gotta pet every dog you see walking by.
You're gonna have to shake hands with a few audience members as they walk out. Thank the club owner for having you. Because it's not your act. People love your act. People love your act. It's who you are.
They hate you.
Garbage.
They just hate you as a person. This is your intervention. I've been waiting for this day.
There is no awful human beings. I'm a good person.
Yeah.
You just
got a thing about you.
That's what it is.
I can name 10 guys you're funnier than.
And you know what? And Chris, you know what? This is how you know. This is how you know.
They're way more successful than you.
This is Chris is talking to me like a middle-aged white man. That's how middle-aged white people talk to me. You know I'm finished because Chris is like, look, my son, you need to work on this.
If you think it's just jokes, you got. jokes are only half the battle.
Every conversation you have about Patrice goes like this. He's a funny guy.
This is years ago, Norton. This is in the mid '90s. I used to do this.
I met him. I hated Patrice. His pomposity. I met him, and he was like, "We're doing this hell gig for Jamie Duke. It was a college. I was opening."
You keep telling that story. I killed that room.
You didn't kill it.
It doesn't matter.
It's not about the comedy.
It's not about the jokes.
It's the delusion of who he is. I had maybe a 1. I
help me help you. He's Rod Tidwell.
I like to see him sweat. It's rare you sweat on our show, man. All right,
I guess
a
it's
breather.
Nobody's got a bad thing to say.
No.
about as funny.
Just my essence stinks.
Before they trash you, they'll say things like, "Yeah, it's funny. Are you friends with him?" Like, no.
Patrice O'Neal will not be at the Garden. He'll be at the Undergarden.
Right. Chris Rock wants to make it perfectly clear. He doesn't want you tainting his Garden appearance.
There's the 5,000, right? There's the 20,000, and then there's the bathroom.
Oh, poor Patrice.
Hey, are you working with anybody in the Garden?
Jill Scott. Jill Scott for the ladies.
She's opening?
Yeah, she's opening.
Wow.
I don't know Jill Scott.
I don't either.
Okay.
I want to find out about.
If you're having sex with a black woman, you'd know.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
She's big.
Yeah.
Neo soul, as they used to call it. I don't know.
Oh, wait, she's the performer. She does music.
Yeah.
I knew. All right, I know who.
Oh, she's not a comic?
No.
Oh, you was thinking comedian Jill Scott.
I was thinking comedian Jill Scott. I've heard of Jill Scott.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I just know she's in music.
That's smart. Have music in front of you, because this way you don't have to worry about somebody stepping on everything you want to talk about.
Exactly.
That's why Pryor did it with Patti LaBelle.
Exactly.
I'm going to start doing that music.
When I saw Dane Cook at the Garden, it was just him and a stool.
Yep.
No opening act, nothing.
Hour and a
Dane
half.
just came out.
Yeah.
That was. I'm like, wow, that's pretty pompous.
Hey,
Not even a warm up.
35 minutes of scream.
Right. Give us a bed or something to hang out with for a while.
I hate working in the round. Not that I have an opportunity to do it. Believe me, I very rarely do.
Shut up, stupid. You're not in the round yet. You can't count the Westbury Music Fair.
I'm only doing half. Believe me, every time I'm in the round, there's a curtain. It's like, well, we thought it'd be more intimate. Curtain off and do half.
You're in the crescent.
And no one wants to see your back.
Hey, you were getting to something.
Oh yeah. When you hosted the Oscars, all we had to hear was from Rich Voss about how he was writing for Chris Rock. Good. Finally. And all I wanted to do
He might have got a couple in there.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he got
He bragged about that for
He got a couple like in
a
the
year.
in the intros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All he was talking about, though, is, well, I gotta, get over and see Chris where I'm writing. It's like, what could you possibly be writing?
He would call us from L.A. in between writing sessions.
And just
make
talk
sure everyone
about that.
knew what he was doing.
Every time we talked to him, he had to bring that up.
Yeah.
And it's still one of his big credits.
How long after you hired Voss did you realize, all right, this was a mistake? He's a nice guy, but he contributes very little, and he's dumb.
He's dumb as dirt.
He'd have some stuff.
I forgot you hosted, man. That was so great. It was so fun to watch.
It was so great they never called again.
Good, though.
What the hell is that about? Wait.
Did it again?
Hold on. I'll tell you what that's about. That means he did a great job.
As a comedian.
No, I'm serious.
You were a comedian doing the
Right.
Oscars. It was great to watch. Just smashing them. I loved that. That stupid Jude Law. Who is he? That was so great. And then Sean Penn, who's one of our finest. Shut your mouth.
One of our finer actors. And
it's like
boy, what a
Sean-
sense of humor that guy's got.
Chris will say it. Says Sean should have taken take the joke.
Oh, what a
My
douche.
God.
It was just nice to see a comic doing that and not being polite to them, but really tearing the throats out.
Absolutely, it was great, man.
Thank you.
Could you hang for a little
Patrice,
longer?
see how I said thank you?
Wait a minute. Let me practice.
That goes a long way, Patrice.
Thank you, Chris. See, I'm going to follow it. Let me just practice saying thank you to people. Just say something to me, Owie.
I don't have anything I could say to you.
It's okay.
Thanks anyway.
Hey, thanks anyway for. I'm trying to learn instead of going. Ugh.
This is Patrice, and you compliment him because he is a sweet guy, but he doesn't
want anyone to know that.
He doesn't know how to
he's got
get
that
love.
tough outer shell that you got to break through.
If you said Patrice, that hosting job you did was so good that one time. Shut up!
right. That's Patrice.
Patrice doesn't realize he doesn't realize he's a big black man. So he thinks he's going, "Hey, how you doing?" But what we hear is,
"Ooga booga." Thank you so much for the opportunity. Ooga booga booga booga.
People who don't like Patrice hate him. Because he gets the people, because if he teases you, he's loud. You're not going to be louder than he is. And
I never realized he couldn't take a compliment properly, because I had complimented you on your appearances on The Office, even though they were very brief, but you were very good.
Can I tell you really quickly
people
why?
Always, when they write for Patrice, they make sure they can write him out, too. I don't know how this is going to work.
They need an out for this character.
Put a pre-existing medical condition in the character description.
It starts off with diabetes in the show.
He's boisterous with a heart condition.
Just in case.
That fun-loving, weak-hearted man.
He starts off with diabetes and a doctor's appointment. First episode.
You could go into a coma in season 2.
They don't want to lose a minute of production time.
If you're lucky. Oh, man.
Actually, Arrested Development, too. I love that show.
I think I got thrown out of there for the same reason.
Why?
I don't think I said thank you.
Yeah, see, that's your problem.
What are you going to do? I don't, just...
Hey,
Just be nice.
I think we only, you have to be somewhere. We only have you for another 10 minutes or so.
Whatever you need, I'm here.
Can we take a quick break and then continue?
For you? Sure.
Oh, wow. And he doesn't like doing radio, so that's a compliment.
Who does?
Do that
Jesus
one more time,
Christ.
Chris.
That's too early.
Do that one more time. Just
For you?
See, I know.
See, there was nothing in me to even know to say that.
That was just acting, though.
But it was...
That wasn't sincere. That was just acting.
No, but I know. That's what he's saying.
All right, listen.
For you, sure.
Quick break.
Rock at the Garden. Just a quick plug. Ticketmaster. Obviously, it's a New Year's Eve show. It's an amazing place. You're already in the city. So if you go to the show, it's like, what, 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
You're out by like 10:30.
No. We're gonna do.
Are you bringing the New Year?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Are you gonna rock?
Oh, wow, that's a long show. Okay, great.
The other thing.
9:30.
I love. First of all, let me just say something very subtle that Jimmy slipped in there.
Yeah.
He goes, Chris Rock playing the Garden. You're already in the city. See, in other words, it's like, don't drive from Long Island,
where I'm going to be.
Where he's going to be, and go to the city.
Can I say
where are you playing?
I'm doing Westbury Music Fair.
Don't brag.
Hey, we got to take a quick break. Really fast. I do want to say that I'm a huge fan of your comedy CDs, and I had no idea you had a CD out until literally a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? It's like
a
greatest
hits. The greatest hits.
It's called The Greatest Bits. Chris Rock, Cheese and Crackers. So check that out as you're doing your holiday shopping, right? Or download it from iTunes, whatever you want to do.
Greatest Hits is out. Perfect for the holiday.
All right,
Perfect gift.
More with Chris Rock. We got Drew Boogie playing us the break. It's Opie and Anthony. So in studio, Chris Rock. We're really excited that he's sitting in here with us. Louis C.K. became a friend of our show in the last year.
Good man.
Thanks to Jim Norton. And we've been telling Louis, you got to help us get Chris Rock in studio. So I'm glad it's finally happening, man. He's promoting his New Year's Eve show at the Madison Square Garden, which is
the big garden.
Very
the real
sweet.
garden.
Yes.
Dan Cook Garden.
The Knicks Garden.
Knicks
boy.
Garden.
Hey, and the tour kicks off in February. You can go to chrisrock.com. And I forgot about this, too. You were voted the 5th best comic of all time by Comedy Central. And I know, like, voting in the polls.
That might be good or bad. Who was ahead of you? Was Yakov Smirnoff ahead of you?
Carrot Top, Bobby Slayton,
Pryor,
Herrera,
Pryor, Carlin,
Joe
Woody,
Bolster.
Woody Allen?
Yeah, Woody was.
Wait.
Where was Bill Cosby at?
Bill Cosby was I want to say number 8.
Oh, I'm not better than Cosby.
I think you are, actually. I'm not. I like Cosby, but I like the fact that you attack socially. And Cosby is a great comedian.
Why is Pryor undisputed number 1, you think?
Pryor,
he is number 1.
I like Cosby and Pryor. They're like 1 and 1A to me, but you know.
That's me and Pryor and Carlin.
And Carlin. That's like okay. That's the big 3.
I like Cosby, but I don't like him better than I like Pryor. I don't like him better than Carlin. I don't like him better than I like you. Only because as great as he was and as great a performer he is and as brilliant as he is, he doesn't attack social stuff. You always, and I like this about you, always. Like we were talking about Michael Vick one night at the Cellar, and Chris wasn't even doing a bit, but just the angle you seem to hit these things from is always like, oh, all right, that's always an interesting point of view.
Poor Michael Vick.
I would have loved to see him play this year, man. That would have been so much fun.
Maybe getting ready for the playoffs now. I watched the game this year. A guy got paralyzed, and they kept playing.
Yeah.
So you could paralyze a guy, but if you kill a dog, you can't play.
Do you think he'll be back next year?
A man can't walk. Fine.
Lay him in the middle of the field, put a 50 on him.
Yeah.
Part of the game.
He was shaking, convulsing. They gave him a penalty for taunting in the end zone. Michael Vick. Kill some dogs.
That's the social commentary you're talking about right there, Jim.
It was really, but it was really an interesting point of view. And I'm not going to give away the bit, but it's something about how they arrest you if you go to, like, you know, the bathroom in the park, and they have parks, just places for the dogs to go to the bathroom. It's just really great.
That is great.
And just in conversation, I was like, that's great.
I got to ask Chris about India. You just got back from India?
I'm shooting a weird documentary, my Borat-ish movie about black women in hair weaves, and and hair weaves come from India. But, okay, I'm not making this up. India, you get off the plane, and you go to baggage claim, and in baggage claim was a big pile of SHIT. And I didn't see an animal anywhere. And that was probably the most pleasant smell in my 6 days there.
Wait, there was a pile of crap at baggage claim in India. Did it say hors d'oeuvre under it?
So that's all you need to know.
Wow.
Yeah,
but the people were pretty nice. But every now and then there'd be some crap on the ground.
Did you just expect to get some kind of disease? Or at least, like, spend a lot of time on the bowl?
It's weird. Every time you drink water, you have to bring your own water, and sometimes people would try to give you water and tell you it was boiled. And I kind of lived off Pop-Tarts and peanut butter for like 4 days, man.
Oh,
yeah, I'd be afraid to eat anything or to...
It was, I put it this way, I spent my last 2 Christmases in Africa, and it ain't nothing. Africa is Hershey, Pennsylvania, compared to India.
Wow. Why Africa? You just you doing gigs?
Well, I went. You know, Oprah called up and then went down there for the opening.
When
of the
Oprah
school.
calls, you got to go.
Yeah, Patrice was on the list. Didn't check his email.
You see how he knows about self-destruction? I'm trying. How come you can't give me the same? Everybody changes. Don't check his email. That had nothing. That's what Chris used to do. And he still has that thing because he spelled the word fully that he didn't say. He spelled it out.
He knows how to do radio.
That's what I'm saying. He knows that.
He doesn't like doing radio, but he knows how to do it.
Oh, man. That's funny. I
don't like waking up.
Yeah, I
got no problem with radio.
Yeah.
Sleeping late.
You want to be famous enough where when you go to Florida, Miami, and they say Chris Rock's coming, you want the show to be sold before you get there, so you don't have to go and sell it in the morning.
Hey, you know, Bobby Slayton, Dom Herrera, Bobby Collins. That's all I wanted.
But we were saying at the break though, Chris Rock is
Bobby Collins' career. That's what I want. Bobby Collins packs him in there. Everybody's happy.
Right.
They're always happy.
That's all you wanted.
Let me ask you this. Now you think there's a is there a difference? There's a difference between white fame and black fame, right?
Yeah, and Puerto Rican fame.
But I'm saying you've been black
Asian
famous
fame.
for how long? How much longer than you've been like?
Yeah, these guys had this discussion during the break. Patrice looks at Chris Rock and goes, "You've been black famous for over 20 years."
I guess so, but you could make 1 million black people laugh, but one white man will make you rich.
That's true. Bernie Mac, right? Wasn't Bernie Mac very famous before he got
Ultimately, it'll be some white guy. I think you're funny.
Yeah, you're hysterical. Here's a check. Well, when you
I think you're hilarious.
There are guys
to change your life.
But everyone knew
Bernie
who you
Mac-
are by SNL, you know, from Saturday Night Live and stuff. And
enough to get in a club.
yeah, and then after that, you kind of went on. You kept things going. You're in a couple of movies, and then you did your stand up. Just put you over the top, man.
Brought me back.
Yeah,
Just trying to hang in there.
yeah, just trying to hang in.
You know who's black famous? Mike Epps is black famous. Like
He's moving into he's in
most
Resident
white
Evil,
people,
and
they know kind of
White
who he
people
is.
know Mike Epps.
But
Young
not like-
white kids know Mike Epps
If you,
from the Fridays.
maybe young
movie.
guys do, especially from the Fridays. If you say Mike Epps to most people, they don't know who he is. But yet he still does.
like Tracy Morgan's white famous, but he was
Yeah.
black famous when he was on Martin playing Hustle Man.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Yes.
You know,
Notice that you know that behavior works for Tracy. Won't work for you.
Yeah, I don't know how Tracy.
Only one black man can behave like Tracy at a time.
I don't even understand.
Only one crazy Negro in Hollywood.
I don't understand that. How Tracy gets and keeps work.
I think he's lovable.
Well, he's insane. No. The guy's a madman.
But who's funnier than Tracy Morgan?
I know.
He really is a funny
Can any of
guy.
us in this room go, yeah, I'm funnier than Tracy Morgan? I can't say that.
If you ever stand in a room with that guy, he will be the center of attention, and you'll be laughing your ass off.
Always funny.
Yeah.
I bring it up a lot. I went and saw him at Caroline's, and he decided he needed to show the front row his...
Somebody go get pregnant tonight.
right. But he decided not to do comedy anymore, and he was obsessed with showing girls his private area, let's just put it that way, for a half hour. I'm like, he's never going to be in Caroline's ever again.
I want you to have my daughter.
And sure enough, 3 months later, he's back there and selling out the club.
Tracy never possibly be the funniest dude you ever, like.
He's one of the funniest guys
we love when he comes on the show.
Like,
we just can't figure him out.
Chris Farley was just like that.
Yeah,
just this uncontrollable, oozing.
We miss Chris Farley.
Yeah, anyone that's talked about him has said, like, even just hanging out in a room with him, you'll be laughing your ass off. The guy was always on.
Always.
Wasn't the 10-year, they called anniversary, which I think's weird, but it was 10 years, right, that he passed? I think that just passed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I miss him, man.
It's been 10 years?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
You done any stuff, because you seem to make a lot of good choices with shows and stuff. You done any stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, man. As far as like the HBO show and the stand-up, and then you segue into movies. I mean,
trying to stay in the business, man.
Doing well though. I mean, Lethal Weapon 4. I mean,
try to say no sometimes.
I've never said no.
Say no.
I've never said no.
You say no enough times. See, the people that work with you want to make money. So they'll come back with something.
I love how he's downplaying his career in front of us. He's a monster.
If you say no, you'll be amazed. They'll come back.
Is there any that you wish? Is there
like they live off of 10% of what you make.
Oh no, they don't. My managers live off of what Robin Williams makes. I'm in the tax write-off
category.
Like they were trying to help this kid.
They need a couple of bombs.
Yeah, believe me, they're not living off what I'm making. Do you is there anything that you did that you wish you didn't do?
Not really. I mean, there's stuff that, you watch and go, ooh, maybe.
But it was a learning experience.
Yeah, but you end up being a learning. Sometimes things end up being a learning experience. Sometimes you get good relationships if you come on time and, don't hit the pipe.
Remember your lines.
I did a movie with this movie called Bad Company that didn't go great, but I met Jerry Bruckheimer, and there's a relationship there, and Anthony Hopkins, and Kerry Washington, all these people, and it was,
You ever said no to anything that you go, oh man, I should have said yes to that?
Really?
You ever say no to something that somebody else became famous from you saying no?
I love those stories.
What did I say no to? I'm not even sure. A lot of stuff just dies in the
process.
I don't want to, because some of us say no to it is like they bombed, and you're like,
Yeah.
People have child support payments to make. I don't want to judge anybody. It's like I knew that movie was going to suck.
You announced at Live Earth that you're doing a Ricky Gervais movie. Were you kidding or no?
I was kidding.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I was kidding. I'll do a movie. I love.
We just had him on the show the other day.
He's funny.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you're going to go over to London and perform?
Yeah. Right after the New Year. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of.
Comedy's a lot different over there, no? I hear that all the time, but
I've been on stage over there. I never like really did gigs there. So, but I've been on stage and stuff seemed to work.
Right.
So all know who you are there, though. So you want to go to London a little bit famous before?
Not really.
Well, you can make a
10
name
years
for yourself.
behind us.
Remember Leary? Leary went over there, not famous, and came back, made a name for himself.
Rich Hall.
Rich
Hall.
Who's still huge over there, right?
Yeah, he does theaters.
He's massive in London.
He's big as Otis Lee Crenshaw over there now. He does this singing kind of cowboy dude. Really? Yeah, he's big. He's a household name over there, Rich Hall. Otis Lee Crenshaw, he's as big as you can get over there.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it, like a parody of Idiotic Americans?
No, he's like a redneck kind of thing, and he sings these songs and parodies, and and he's famous.
Is he kind of like Larry the Cable Guy with songs?
It's Larry Cable Guys, yep. Yes, it is, yep.
So he just ripped off Larry the Cable Guy.
I won't say that. Is that the right thing to say?
Say it. You can say it.
Patrice trying. I like it.
I wouldn't say that, but no, I don't think
now you're burning a bridge with...
No. If you listen to this, unless they edit it...
Oh, we'll edit it. Trust me.
To make it sound like... I'm saying he does this dude, but I would say it's Cable Guy-ish, but it's not him. It's just like this...
Yeah.
This, he's more like a I don't know. Nigga.
Get her done.
Here's why I get frustrated. I don't know.
I like Larry the
I'm
Cable
just saying, he's kind of
Peace for Larry the Cable Guy. Everybody go to his gig.
Yeah.
He's playing New Year's
Hey,
somewhere.
Chris, what was your story of the year? It's the end of the year here. What's the one story that made you go, this was a good year?
You know, my favorite story, and I'm just sad that they didn't stay on it long enough, was the astronaut in the diaper was my favorite of the year. That was my favorite.
Where she is
hands down.
She had to do some damage so bad that she needed to wear that diaper for that long ride.
You know, I always say it's like that could never happen with a guy. A guy could put on the diaper. A guy could get in a car, but he ain't driving 10,000 miles. A guy, within a mile and a half, he gonna see another girl. Look at that bitch. He's gonna pull over. He's not gonna make it that long.
Yeah, she was on one of those stalker missions, man.
Oh, she's my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna put on a diaper.
And just being an astronaut,
diaper.
all the work it takes to become an astronaut, and then you just shoot it to hell by putting a diaper on and having like a ball peen hammer and some pliers. I don't know what the hell she was going to do. Some duct tape.
You know, well, you have to bang a woman for her to go to the bathroom in her own pants to get your rifle. Like, you really have to be.
You would think she'd want it to be nice and fresh when she saw it.
That was the take. You actually feel good about that. You rode all the way here to kill my girl in a diaper? Thanks, baby.
Oh, that is a great story. That one is Michael Vick.
Two Girls, One Cup.
Two Girls, One Cup is a great one.
What's Two Girls, One Cup?
Oh, Jesus.
We just don't have time, unfortunately.
We had it here.
Wow. I'm surprised you don't know.
It's a video that's just gone completely viral on YouTube, and it's two girls,
right?
One cup, and one girl fills the cup with a lovely thick treat.
Yeah, she could have got it from baggage claim in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two Girls, One Cup, and India. Just put those all together.
They both share it.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's great.
It is. We're like short timers left in the nom when it comes to that. We're like the short timers in the nom. We've seen it so many times we just watch and go ha ha ha. But when we get somebody new and that hasn't seen it, we enjoy them just going, oh, I can't look. Oh, geez. Oh. But it is on like
still I can't believe it.
A human level. You can't watch it.
Yeah,
it's just why are they doing
this? Porno?
No.
I think it was supposed to be in some places of the world.
It did nothing to me at all.
But mainstream culture has checked this video out. It's not just like guys like us.
Two Girls, One Cup.
It's so big that they don't have. It's hard to find the actual video. You just have. If you type it up, it's just people watching it.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing
it. Yeah. Now it's people's reaction to watching it that people are watching.
Two Girls, One Cup. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah.
It's easy. TwoGirlsOneCup.com.
I've just never,
Do you troll around looking at videos?
I troll around in the internet. I never press, SHIT.
Yeah.
It's never.
Just kind of end up
been
there.
that. I never been that.
Chris, for your viewing pleasure.
Well,
just
here
we
it
go
is.
Off the air.
If you want to take,
starts off with a nice scene, girl on girl action, and then you get.
They ever step it up.
Oh, look at that. Come on, Chris.
They step it up. They step it up.
Don't be a rookie. Come on. Come on. What the hell? Look at
that. They really step it up. God, they step it up. Look at
That's our favorite part. Come on, look. There you go.
There it is.
We just want to make sure you don't forget your time on the Opie and Anthony show.
Two girls, one cup. Why indeed?
Why?
You're not gonna forget us, right, Chris?
Why?
That was wonderful.
Where do you get those girls?
That makes me breathe better when I see that video.
I think I found a new opening act.
It's an icebreaker, all right.
Well, that's our music. We got to get out, unfortunately. Let's not forget Patrice O'Neal comics next week.
Yes,
Comics.
28,
Next,
29.
How many seats is that place?
PatriceO'Neal.com.
Chris Rock will be there ridiculing me. Come down and see.
You complain, Town Hall.
And comics.com with an X.
Yes.
For the Patrice O'Neal info. Jim.
He's at the Westbury. Patrice should be at the Westbury Music Fair.
No, yeah, I'm North Fork on New Year's Eve if you're out there. If you're in the city here, Chris Rock is at the Garden on New Year's Eve with Jill
Scott.
and they bring in the New Year there too in the Garden. Go to Ticketmaster.
And at midnight, Biz Marquis coming out and singing Umbrella.
Biz Marquis. That would be something I would want to see. Yeah.
ChrisRock.com.
And his greatest hits CDs in stores now. It's Cheese and Crackers from Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's greatest hits in stores.
Chris, I hope you come back. We had a lot of fun, man.
This was right.
We do a little hang here. We try to do it a little different than most.
The video
most
was a bit much.
Yeah.
But you're not
I want to apologize for
How
that.
you gonna top that?
Are you going to forget us, though?
I can't forget you.
That's our goal with this whole thing. All right. The great Chris Rock. What else can we say?
Thanks to the audience for a great year, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
We'll all do the hang at Jim Norton show, and some will be at the Chris Rock show, obviously. And then my brothers join F.H. Riley's 400 New York Avenue after Jim's show in Huntington Village. We'll all
Hey,
be
guys,
there.
thanks for letting me be a part of this.
Yeah, whatever.
There you go.
That's good, though.
No, it's not. I miss filthy, awful people. I don't like this nerd.
Nerd. All right, we got to get out of here. We're going to go over to XM, and Chris, it was a pleasure, really. Thank you.
Oh, I can't be on the cursing show, huh?
You want to go over there?
I gotta go meet some white people.
Lucky you.
That's how we end. We'll see you guys, I don't know, in about a week or so.
Later, man.
Yeah, all right, man.
How great was Chris's reaction, Chris Rock's reaction to Two Girls, One Cup?
Oh, that's fantastic.
No, it sucks we didn't film it.
I know.
I know.
It was a quick little thing.
Although someone might have capped it off of Pal Talk. He was on there, rolling around on the couch.
What a visceral, great reaction.
Oh, yeah. He was just screaming, no.
We've been trying to get him on the show for so long, and he had such a good time. That's really, that was great to see.
Yeah.
Come back. He's always out doing films.
Oh, and did he just nail Patrice?
Yeah.
Oh, he fucking nailed him down perfectly.
He loves Patrice, too.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Patrice could have been the fucking father on that show. He could have he had the fucking job.
But then we wouldn't have Patrice
That's
as
true.
a regular friend.
I'd rather have him as the failure that he is than have to watch him be successful.
Patrice, if you're listening, the fact that you're a flop makes me feel closer to you.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how are you? It's been a while.
Air?
Yeah, we're on the air. We got Bill Burr in studio, Joe DeRosa, Jim Norton, and me and Ant.
When do the funny people get it?
God
How you doing,
damn, Chris.
Can't complain.
You're done with Broadway. Before you even talk about anything else, I had to say to you publicly, you were fucking amazing in your in your play. You're a much better actor than I realized.
Thank you. You know, after Pootie Tang, it's all uphill.
I love Pootie Tang.
I never saw it.
What? How do you not see Pootie
Well,
Tang?
Louis told us the story about how, you have one vision, but then sometimes the studio steps in and they do what they got to do.
Well, when we do Pootie Tang on Broadway, you're all invited.
No, right on.
I don't doubt that would happen. There's no doubt that could actually happen.
Can I tip Chris, I never really met you before, but I've always wanted to tell you this. Me and my friends in high school, before I ever did comedy, were obsessed with CB4. I'm still obsessed with it. I think it's hilarious, and I tip my hat to you for recognizing the utter genius of Charlie Murphy.
Thank you.
Before anybody did. Before anybody.
Chappelle is such a genius because all those Charlie Murphy stories that are on the Chappelle show, he told them on the set of CB4. I knew all those stories years and years, 15 years in advance, and then I'm watching Chappelle's show. I'm like, oh my God, I could have had all of that stuff.
You're kind of like the college coach that you could have drafted like Jeter to play for you, but you just kind of enjoyed watching him and then ignored him.
Exactly.
That's all right, man. Obviously,
With this 12th selection, Chris Rock selects Ken O'Brien. Dan Marino reference? Nobody?
That was a good one.
No, I got it. I'm a Jets fan.
Hey, O'Brien's better than Sanchez.
The old pick six.
Yeah, Sanchez, I don't know. He makes us a little nervous as
I like
Jets fans.
Sanchez, but O'Brien,
What do you think of Tebow? If you want to talk football.
Wow!
No kidding.
Wow, man! I guess other teams are going to start letting linebackers play quarterback.
Yeah, he's 6-1 as a starter now, and it's very unconventional, as we all know.
Yeah, but it's like baseball. Like in baseball, the guy gets hot, then when he goes through the league a second time, let me see what happens.
When they figure him out.
When they figure out that Prohibition-era offense that they're running. Fucking pitch it to fucking Curly or Larry.
They need to update
I swear to God, I saw that offense on the Three Stooges one time.
Hey, lateral it to me, Mo.
I'm sorry, we missed that. What was that?
I'm sorry, Chris, we were left.
If Tebow plays like there's no black guys on the field.
Yeah. and he loves his God. He wants everyone to know how much he loves God. Which,
No, in defense of him,
God actually decided to back a shitty football player.
Yeah.
It's working for him.
What was Phil going to say?
in defense of Tebow, he talked about Jesus in college. He hasn't done it yet. They just keep putting the camera on him when he starts speaking in tongues every time they kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like God really cares.
Sounds like an auctioneer.
Yeah.
All right.
I just know everybody in the red states are so excited. This has got to be their guy for the last 20 years.
Oh yeah, very religious and he's winning.
He wears a vest. He's clean cut. He's into Jesus.
He's a good boy.
Pretty amazing what he's doing, though. Unbelievable. Well, Chris, obviously, fucking Patrice. We're all just...
Obviously, you want me to replace Patrice, and I accept.
Yes. Come on in. We're sick over it. Everyone has been saying how rough this one is. This is just a rough one.
It is a rough one because, first of all, people don't realize how full of life this guy was.
Yep.
Like, just absolutely filled up a room when he walked in a room, and he was so funny, and he was just figuring out what he did. You know what I mean? He was just figuring out how to take that thing he did in the restaurant and put it on stage. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The thing he did off stage was coming on stage, and he was, it's like the comedic Lynn Bias, if anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this guy was really getting ready to. We were all getting ready to have work for Patrice O'Neal. That's basically what was getting ready to happen.
He was figuring it all out right in front of our eyes. He was there, man.
Yeah, I know. When Elephant in the Room came out, I was excited for him, and I was nervous. I was like, is he going to make me look like a child? Because, he was that... it was literally what he was saying. I almost felt like once it was his to take, once he just decided he wanted it. That's it. That's the level.
That's what I always told him.
Yeah.
Right.
I always tell him, look around. Do you see anybody as funny as you? Really? Really?
Yeah, Jimmy said it last week. He could be funny with anyone. You can't think of one person he wouldn't be as funny or funnier.
Like any comic you could put him in the room with who's ever worked, and he would be comfortable being funny with them.
Yes. We're all established guys here. Does any one of us really want to follow the guy?
Right, no.
No, he used to hold court with... He actually was so funny, he could get comedians who are always trying to top people's stories to actually shut up and become audience members.
Yeah.
Like that time he went at it with the transvestite out in front of that.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Dude, it was literally just some transvestite was coming down the street, and he was just in one of those moods where he felt like fucking with somebody, and he fucked with this transvestite. And she immediately came right back at him. Said, remember that line? She said, you got so many spaces between your teeth, looks like your tongue's in jail. That's what started it.
Jesus Christ.
And he hit her with shit just as big. Dude, and we just sat there. It was a comedic version. You ever see that tape of Biggie when he was just got in that rap battle in the middle of the purest form?
Right.
It was like the purest form of comedy. There was no security. There was no crowd. Like a crowd just developed around what the fuck was happening, and he just sat there, and she hit him with a couple of stock lines, and he like Ali leaned on the ropes, let the she punch herself out, and then he just fucking destroyed her. But it was unbelievable. I remember just really in that moment going, he is truly special. Mm-hmm. You know, you're really not going to see another one. That was a one-off. Yeah. That was it.
He's fucking his ability. I showed my parents were visiting this week, and I showed them Elephant in the Room because they didn't know who Patrice was. They just knew that he was. I had a friend that passed or whatever, and I showed it to him. My dad's a Catholic church deacon. And my dad was red-faced and laughing hysterically at Patrice going, why can't we have harassment day? You know, excuse me, I always wanted you to know, would you suck my dick in the broom closet? Like, the fact that he can make a fucking man of the cloth laugh as hard as, like, Bill or me or any, you know, whatever. It's fucking, it's uncanny, man. Uncanny ability.
There was nothing better than seeing Patrice meet somebody for the first time who was like impressed with themselves and they thought they were on some level of accomplishment. I saw him one time. He made this fucking white dude, a 50-year-old guy. You could just tell he ran a company or something, and he just was so used to running shit. As he sat in the crowd, he had this vibe like he was running it, even though he was at the show. Like you were performing for him. You know, Patrice got on stage. He didn't have to meet the guy, just sensed it. He made this guy so fucking mad. I was actually standing behind the guy, and I could see the anger in the back of his head and his shoulders. You know, Patrice had that laugh when he was really getting you that.
Oh, yeah. He enjoyed it.
Sounded like a fucking trumpet. Yeah. And he's just laughing in this guy's face, and then he finally said something like, you look like you want to fire me, but you can't. And that was the one that just fucking leveled the room. And I'm so fucking sad about this shit. I couldn't wait for him to get big because I wanted to see those TMZ guys to try to fuck with him at the airport. Like how much he would have enjoyed that and destroyed him, and they would have. It's the worst fucking thing ever.
It's horrible. There's so many things that are going to happen that you would just love to know what his take was going to be on it.
You, Chris, you helped him too in a weird way because when you were on the show at K-Rock with us and Patrice was in, and it kind of turned into an intervention because you were telling him that like you wanted him for your show, and you know he might have been hard to be around. And you told him kind of with love and that really, I think it changed him. It absolutely changed him.
I love the guy. He's just one of those guys that the moment he started getting out of his own way,
that's exactly it.
It was all going to open up for him, and that's what was happening. And when I was on the show, and by the way, what I did on the show is what I did to every time I saw him. Right. I was like, Money, you're funnier than everybody. Jesus. Embrace it. Come in. Smile. Don't worry. The white man is not going to beat your ass today. It's okay. You know, and
he loved putting a spark to a bridge, though.
He loved putting a spark to a bridge.
Oh, boy. Burn a bridge like that guy.
Amazing.
And it was fucking hilarious, but like also you just be like, what are you doing?
Why? It's like cross it first, then burn it.
Not every bridge.
Cross it first, then burn it.
Right. Did he ever tell you that story when he went into CBS? Which was like a notoriously cold room during this era. It was like you walked in, they had the lights low, like that guy who ran that team in The Natural. You know what I mean? Like the fucking baseball owner. You would just go in there, dude, like already sweating. You'd start tap dancing, and they wouldn't give it up for anything. And he walked in there, maybe tap dance for half a second, and right in the middle of the meeting, you know, you're pitching a show to get a deal. There's a invisible bag of money sitting there, and he just says, fuck it. And he starts looking at every executive there and starts pointing at everybody. You don't like me, you don't like me, and you don't like me. Just started trashing him. Yeah, unknown comic. And I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, Patrice, do you realize that story was on the other side of Hollywood before you even got back to your rented Dodge Neon? Why would you do that? And he's like, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Fucking gonna sit there and 3,000 miles to have you staring at me? Because you got a desk.
Audition for Everybody Hates Chris. Didn't know his lines. Like, y'all don't want me. I'm like, I was dying to give him the part.
Oh. Jesus, can you imagine?
Yeah, he was defensive sometimes when he didn't need to be. I think sometimes he didn't understand how much people would just love him or how much people enjoyed him. He knew he was so funny, but, look, everybody else, he's a comedian. He's fucking got major problems like we all do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think he never understood that, man, people really will embrace you, and they don't mind your shitty, cynical, you're so funny, people will just love you.
We used to joke about the supreme confidence that hacks have. You know what I mean? How they just never question their talent. They just never do.
Never question their
They just always, they go on stage with supreme confidence in their fucking prolific mediocrity. Always coming out with another special. Always feel like, yeah, America needs to hear this. And then you get a guy like Patrice where it's like, dude, you talking to yourself in the shower should be a fucking album.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get the dude off the... I don't know, man. That's probably going to, you know.
It just fucking hurts. Because he was about to do it on his terms, too. You know, we talk about all the bridges he burned, but he was about to do it on his terms, finally.
Yeah, Chris?
Oh, sorry, Chris.
The other moral of the story is, you know, despite, you know, Biggie being, you know, so big and Heavy D and all that, hey, fat's not good.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And just because you're popular and you get laid, it doesn't mean you're healthy.
God damn, I know.
You know,
Louis was saying that.
Live off of chicken wings from the Chinese restaurant.
Louis was saying he's just pissed at himself for not going over there and saying, hey, asshole, what are you doing to yourself?
I think people tried, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Patrice is smart enough to know.
Yeah,
he's not a dumb guy. He knew, but it's like anything else. When someone's drinking too much or smoking cigarettes, death is like an intangible, faraway thing. You know it's there, but it's not. Right. It's not like a gun pointed at you.
Do you know last night somebody from England, a comedian from England, this is how much this guy's loved, flew all the way over here on his own dime to come to the funeral today, and he was telling this story. They were doing a TV taping in London. So, of course, Patrice doesn't give a fuck. He's treating this like, you know, Europe's Friday night videos. He doesn't give a shit, right? And for some reason, they had a book in the green room. I guess it had a list of all these comedians that were so far down the ladder, they didn't have a manager or an agent. They just had their phone number, their home phone number. So Patrice, instead of preparing for his set, starts calling these guys over in England. He called one guy up who had a puppet. And he goes, yeah, how much to book the puppet? I just want to get the puppet. I don't want to book you. He asked another guy, how much would it cost to get you to just stop?
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so nobody was paying attention to the taping. They were all gathering around Patrice, once again, holding court, and everyone just laughing. Like, call another one, call another one. Just effortless. I've totally butchered that story, but
that's him.
That is him.
Funny, man.
The same guy. It's Brendan Burns is who you're talking about.
Yeah,
English comic.
yeah, Brendan Burns.
We were doing the Nasty Show in Montreal, and Brendan came over to hang out backstage, and he was going off about English comedy and how good the scene is, and Patrice just goes, English comedy stinks, and did a 10-minute just improv sketch of an English comedy club, and he's just going, coming to the stage, Ian Eaglepuss. and he's just making up these ridiculous things. Get the fuck out of here, you stink. Y'all are 30 years behind us. I was the king of England when I went over there. It was so fucking funny, man.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. And you're like, wow, I wish I had anything in my act half that fucking funny. Yeah. And he just said that all off the top of his goddamn head for 10 minutes, and that was, you know.
It was almost like he didn't even write. That was the creepy thing about Patrice. He didn't know what was his material that he wrote.
Go with that, Opie. Go with that.
I'm serious.
No, he didn't. He just...
You don't think he wrote it all, right?
It's like Jay-Z. Jay-Z, I heard he just is all in his fucking head. Right. The same thing. I've known him 20 years. Never saw him go, hey, I got to go into CVS and get a notebook.
Right.
Never saw him with a laptop.
Special, though. I don't care what he says.
Right. Yeah. There were so many times on the radio show we would say, please save that for the air. That's amazing. Like he couldn't stop. We'd go to break and he was just as funny, just hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Elephant in the Room because I don't watch stuff that, you know, you just don't want to see what the guys you know are doing because
it really is fucking good, man.
I watched a clip. A clip about being mean to animals, and it was like, God, fucking right. It was great.
Yeah, he nailed it.
You never want to understand that your peer is so great. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody recognizes that they're working with such greatness, and it's like when someone dies, then you reflect.
Right.
But while you're seeing it, you don't realize. It's like, God damn.
He's got a CD coming out called Mr. P.
Mr. P. Yeah.
And he was putting together. This isn't one of those things where the family rushed out because he died.
Oh no, he was responsible for it.
This is something he wanted out there, and they're taking pre-orders now. And Jonathan said the other day, it's brilliant. This thing, Mr. P, is brilliant.
Yeah, and it's available on iTunes and Amazon now for pre-order if you guys want to go out and get it.
And the money's going to the family.
Yeah, the CD company actually switched the deal to give his family more money. They're taking a lower percentage.
Yep.
Hey, was anybody else on that benefit we did that one time for the rescue dogs?
No.
You was at a Steinberg gig? So we did this gig, and it was like we show up, you figured it's for rescue dogs, we're working for free, everyone's going to be paying attention. It was this Manhattan, just who's who shit, and nobody was paying attention. The only two people paying attention were two cast members of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. This is like fucking 8 years ago. And so I go up first, and like an idiot, I go right into my act, and I just immediately start bombing. Nobody's paying attention to me. I'm working for free, and all I can hear is Patrice laughing.
Oh, shit, yeah.
At the back of the fucking thing, right? Each one of us tried to adjust somehow to kill, and none of us could. We all ate our balls, and then Patrice went up there and opened with talking about how he had a puppy for breakfast and went through the whole preparation of it and just pissed everybody off in the room. And then right when he had everybody listening, he just trashed everybody in the room and this whole thing. So the lady who ran the event with her I run shit fucking dress she had on was telling him, she told him to get off the stage. He's just going, and he's going, no, I'm not getting upset. She goes, I put this thing together. He goes, bitch, I don't give a fuck. And he just kept going.
Oh,
so then,
man.
No, he wouldn't get off the stage.
That's
and then
brutal.
they turned off the microphone.
No.
And there was a piano on stage. So he sits down at the piano and starts playing the piano, which he can't. And I remember he's just sitting there banging it. And as she's yelling at him, he just looked over, the impish smile ever, just looking over, smiling. And I was just so fucking happy he did it. And I was so mad that I didn't think to fucking why I went up there like a hat in hand. Hey, my dad's wacky, and just ate my balls. It was. I mean,
prepare a puppy. That's brilliant.
He was one of those friends, one of those comedians who could be your fucking hero in any given moment by doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it, I love the fact that he fucking had the balls. He was. He was impossible to own Patrice because there's nothing you could dangle in his face that he couldn't walk away from. Like, he literally could not be controlled.
You remember when the Cellar tried to kick him out? The Cellar kicked him out, and then he hung around the corner, so we would all do our sets and then leave because we wanted to hang around with him. So
Wait a minute, why did the Cellar kick him out?
Well,
he had an argument with Manny, I think, but it was a mistake. It was a misunderstanding. I watched it happen, and Manny mistook. Patrice was asking him if he had false teeth, and we would tease each other all the time there, and it was getting to. I think that was something Manny was sensitive about because he was 70, and it was one of the only things I guess that was like his Achilles. And Patrice really didn't know.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't saying anything bad about this.
No, I know.
Man, I got kicked out for a minute. Everybody, at some point, you know, you're late or whatever, you do whatever, and then they got to throw down the gauntlet. So,
I think he didn't want to come back, I'm saying. I think that, like, he just said, fuck this, I'm not going back, and he just didn't want to go back.
Well, all I know is, so now we would just all go hang where he was at, so then they had to let him back in. You couldn't beat him.
So because everybody was leaving the club.
Because we were all going to leave, and then, you know, they want people hanging around or whatever, so they had to let him back in. And then he figured that out, going, that was kind of golden handcuffs that they let me back in. So then what he did was he was back in, but he wouldn't put him for spots. And we'd just go down there and hang out. It was always chess with him.
Oh, yeah,
it was awesome.
You got to respect that, though, man.
Yeah.
He was at Caroline's one night, and there was a Christmas party there. Fucking 25 people and their female boss. So, of course, like, you're waiting for it. You're like, when's he going to attack the boss? And finally, he gets around to it, and he goes, let me tell y'all how she likes to get fucked. He goes, see how she wear her hair up in that bun? She likes to let that shit down. She likes the dude to wrap that shit around his fist 5-6 times and pull her head down like a horse and go, bitch, shut the fuck up. Fucking all of her employees are laughing at her. She's staring at Patrice, dude, like Venom. And Patrice just goes, bitch, don't give me boss eyes. I don't work for you.
Fucking maniac. That's fantastic.
Gonna fucking miss him, man.
Yeah.
Obviously.
God damn.
Want to thank Chris for calling in.
Yeah, Chris, thanks, man.
Chris.
Thanks for having me. I'm sure I'll see you guys tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bummer. But
well, you know,
what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah,
that's the easy way
Chris
to get around.
Chris is in great shape, so we're good there.
Yeah, I'm in decent shape. Let's work on a towel.
He won't stop smoking. I feel like a fucking nudge ant. Every time I see him, I want to just go stop. Because he quit drinking. He's doing good. He's like, he looks okay, but fucking he won't stop smoking.
Yeah.
It's like, will you stop? Fucking stop it.
I need one vice.
Yeah, he smokes a lot. He smokes a lot.
Maybe that's what we do next week. We just pick out a few guys to, you know.
Guys, yeah. Even though people did say something to Patrice, we always feel like we could have said more. But again, he knew. He was the smartest guy in the room. I mean, he always knew.
24 hours either.
Yeah, he was going to make his own decisions, and It's unfortunate. They said even, look, with diabetes, even if you're totally thin and you jog, it can happen. But by your overeating and stuff, and you just fucking put the odds through the roof. Yeah, man, you make it much worse. See you tonight, brother. It was good talking to you.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Chris Rock, everyone.
Yeah, that really did help Patrice, I think, when Chris... that day he was in, because it got to him. Because Chris wasn't coming at him like, you asshole. He was like, I wanted to give you.
It was extremely real, remember?
Yeah. And
we were like, whoa.
And I think Patrice
listened, too. Yeah. You know what? One of the only times you watch Patrice actually sit back and listen instead of coming back with something.
He would do that in rare occasions when, and it was always when someone was being brutally honest with him. He would actually... stop talking and making fun of you for half a second. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. And it's you know, look, everybody always says too soon when somebody dies. It's a cliche thing to say. But with Patrice, I've just never seen it more applicable. This was such... You know, Geraldo was the first guy I knew in this business to go, and it was very upsetting, but Patrice was the first... I mean, I was friends with Greg, but Patrice was the first guy that I was really like, holy shit, like... This can happen, man. Like, you can go before, even though you're loved and respected and have so much to say and are such a presence, you can go at any fucking time. It's really scary, man, and it's so upsetting because you know there was like 7 more of those specials.
Welcome to middle age, Joe.
Yeah, no kidding.
Middle age is when you realize that life doesn't give a shit, that it doesn't, you know?
Right. It's upsetting because he was young, but it's also, like you're saying, upsetting knowing what he was about to do.
Yeah,
with his career.
It was like, you know,
so
there
on
was
both levels. It just sucks.
Yeah,
I so wanted to see that guy go to that. It was going to be a whole new group of people who are going to meet him for the first time. Which I tell you, I can't stress that enough. Watching somebody meet that guy when he was in that fucking mood, which he usually was. I just love how he used to pick out. I remember one time this beautiful girl came in and she had this little scar. You could barely fucking see it.
Oh, that motherfucker.
He went right for it.
Yeah.
That's how you doing? I like that scar you got right there, right? And then immediately she's just all fucking uncomfortable. And he just brought it to this fucking real place that she, you know, hadn't probably been in since, you know, I don't know what. And he could just, I don't know. Did I tell that story about him telling that girl to shut up?
Wow.
Her voice.
That could be 1,000 stories.
Was that at the cellar or no?
That time we were at the cellar, and those girls were all talking. I think I told that when I called in. I'll tell it again. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it don't matter.
Just sitting there, like, you know, it's a loud bar, and, you know, when their voices go up, it gets fucking, and he just goes, they're sitting there talking like, and he keeps glancing over there as he's trying to talk to me, and then he did that glance for an extra second. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's going to say something. And he just picked out one, he just goes, ma'am, miss, ma'am. And she finally looks, and she goes, what? And he goes, your voice. And she goes, is it loud? And he goes, it's piercing. Right? And he just starts, and just basically tells her to shut up. So then these girls are fucking gorgeous, too. So her 2 friends want to come to her rescue. So all 3 of them come over to Patrice. I'm like, oh, fuck, how the hell is he going to deal with this? And I don't know what he did. Within 30 seconds, he had them auditioning to figure out who had the best sexy phone sex voice.
Holy shit.
And they were auditioning for him, and he was sitting there judging and telling each one of them why, despite their looks, guys didn't find him attractive after like a 3rd date. And he was so in there. It was Hannibal Lecter. He was in their fucking heads.
Hannibal Lecter.
It was awesome.
Yeah. He was a psychologist, man. He really was a brilliant, intuitive fucking psychologist, man. He read people immediately.